Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of General Geekery. I'm Brian, and with me, as always, is JD.
Hello.
I was just showing JD my female uh Gyro Viper custom so far. It's still a work in progress, obviously. And we were talking about paint rubs on noses of the real American hero figures.
I told him I think his gyro viper custom. I think she should have dirt or something on her nose to simulate the paint scratch that all the vintage gyro vipers get from that helmet they wear. What are you doing with her helmet, anyways?
I am using the helmet from the Black Dragon VTOL.
Oh, that's cool. All right, yeah, I like that. That's a
Yeah,
good
like
idea.
everybody and their brother used the helmet from the Rise of Cobra Firefly that came with the drop ship for their custom.
Yeah, that
Like I got to do something completely different. The other thing I had a real nice um Joy Toy
toy
helmet,
toy. Yeah,
but it's a little too detailed for what I want because
uh,
the original helmet was pretty soft sculpt. So I wanted
yeah. It was just the silver face shield and the helmet, right? Yeah,
so that's what I'm doing. I'll airbrush the silver on the face shield here in a little bit.
that's cool.
But
Um,
yeah, I had to look at my Gyro Viper and see if he indeed did have a paint scratch on his nose, and sure enough, he does. It,
um,
it's really tiny. I mean, it's really hard to notice. And then we were talking about all the different figures that were like prone to paint rubs on the nose.
Most of them, it's because they have like the wild boar. He's got the helmet that goes over the so it scrapes the nose. The gyro viper, the same thing. Ones that don't though, like lift ticket and the televiper. Every televiper I think I ever see on eBay all has the
I'd have
nick.
mine. I'm not sure if mine does or not now. You know, another one that doesn't have something but always has a freaking paint rub on the nose is the version one snow serpent.
Yeah, that's true. You
That
know,
that's a that's a tough one to like overlook because it's a black face plate.
yeah,
Black face plate.
I think a lot of it is just a testament, like lift ticket and televiper, to how iconic those figures were, how much playtime they got. But yeah, it does make shopping for vintage figures more difficult.
Well, I got lucky on my wild boar. My wild boar doesn't have a paint rub on the nose at all.
Um, did it come with a helmet and everything?
Yeah,
Because
complete.
um,
And I got it for a smoking price too. So
yeah, I was gonna say of all the pre like 1989 Joes that are most often associated with that early line, Wild Boar is not one of the ones that ranks on the list of fan favorites.
no, I just had to get him to fill in the hole, you know,
Of course.
trying trying to get all the unique Cobra troopers or drive vehicle drivers. I'm kind of on the vehicle drivers right now, so
Um, you've got a decimator, right?
I do. I don't have his gun, but I have a decimator.
No, but you've got his decimator and you've got his bulbous helmet, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Um, because without a bulbous helmet, the man just looks like a banana. Um,
It's an interesting. It's kind of a bland figure for such a unique vehicle.
it's
I
a
kind of
cool figure that just I feel like it would have been a cooler figure, honestly, if he had just been single carded. I think he's got an interesting look, and I think he would have just made a better like Cobra operative or maybe a Cobra um like a rank and file guy, maybe, but he he's cool enough that he's not really a good vehicle driver because a lot of the vehicle drivers tended to be kind of bland. Not all of them, but kind of. Like some of them are better off just sitting in their vehicles, not really coming out. Um,
He-
Wild boar, I'm looking right at you, you lame ass.
yeah, but he was Iron Grenadier. Uh, for the vehicle that he came with, which was the Hammerhead, I kind of would have expected something more along the lines of like a Secto Viper.
Yeah, I feel like they could have gone more in that direction. Or maybe they didn't because of the Secto Viper, but I still kind of feel like a bubble helmet would have been cooler.
Yeah. Although the cockpit on the Hammerhead does not lend itself well to any kind of like bigger figure.
See, the Hammerhead was one that I played with as a kid because one of the places we lived, somebody had one, but I've never owned one, so I can't I can't testify to what the proportions of it are. But I remember the bug. You could fit just about anybody in the bug.
Yeah.
But yeah, I never had a hammerhead, so I could. But yeah, I think Decimator was just cool enough that I think they did him a disservice by putting him in a vehicle. Um,
Well, and he's one of the few vehicle drivers that comes with a weapon, and that is one of the few things that is missing from my collection is I do not have his gun.
um, is that a hard one to get? Okay, so
Yeah,
it's like the
if you find like every once in a while you'll see somebody do like a top 10 hardest accessories to find, and it's usually on that list.
so kind of like is it the track viper's gun or the secto viper's bubble helmet?
Yes, those are usually on the list as well. Um, Aside from that, man, since our last show, man, there's been a shit ton of stuff that's dropped. Of course, first off, fuck you, because I had to buy the Crimson set, and I have it sitting right here.
What did I do?
Enabled me to get it.
Ah, I mean, yes, yes. Now I do remember I may have been solely responsible for inspiring you to buy that with my showcase of it last episode.
Yeah. So yeah, I picked it up. Um, and I just started opening it because I've gotten a bunch of stuff recently, so I haven't opened everything yet. So we're gonna do some of that on the show today. But yeah, and of course I'm a fucking sucker for a gimmicky packaging. So when you it's like, yo, it's got a magnet in the lid, I'm like, fuck. I need
So even if the figures inside had kind of sucked, you still might have been tempted.
I would have been tempted. Yeah, with the gold in there. That is awesome. I love that. Now I'm kind of sad that I didn't pick up Chuckles when I had the chance to
I
get.
will still go back for Chuckles at some point, but he was kind of hard for me to pass on because Chuckles is one of my favorite Joes. He is not one of my favorite vintage figures, but he is one of my favorite Joes. I love the undercover guys. I love the spycraft stuff, but
Absolutely.
I don't. My big hang up with him was I know part of the inflated cost is for the packaging, but I was less bothered by that than I was that honestly, all the accessories he came with that made him a deluxe, they didn't hold any particular appeal for me.
See, and I
I
thought it
mean,
was cool. I liked everything that he came with.
yeah, I don't.
Chuckles
The
was never
hands with the
one of my.
brass knuckles, that was a nice touch. I will say that was a cool touch. But
I liked the
like,
interchangeable heads. I mean, everything about that figure looked cool. I just Chuckles was never one of my favorite. I've never owned a Chuckles figure. Um, so I didn't have it as a kid. I don't have it now. Um, Wait a minute. Didn't he? Oh, I know. I take that back. He came out in the 25th anniversary line in
Cobra
seven.
Island 7-pack. Yeah.
So I take that.
Um,
I did have two of them because I bought two of those sets when those came out about 2008. I'm sure both of them got stripped down for customs because I'm sure I don't have either one of them anymore.
yeah. I bought that. I mean, Chuckles, I was always a fan, and the one thing that they did at one of the conventions years ago, okay, it's years ago now, but it was a more recent convention, was I think it was the Night Force convention set. One of the add-on figures they had was a Night Force Chuckles, and so he had a tactical vest, and he looked more agency operative than tourist vacation guy. And
And that's the way I did a custom of him maybe 2 years ago, and that's what I did is I took one of the Marauder suited figures and like opened the suit up and put a plate carrier underneath the suit. So it was like a CIA. I did the file card, so he was a CIA liaison.
I he was always like the intelligence briefing guy in the comics. Very much kind of one of those um, covert operative. He's got his bosses he answers to, and it. I've never been bothered by the Hawaiian shirt, but until that one figure came out where he had like a flak vest or like the body armor on, I'm like, huh. I had never considered that as an idea that Chuckles should end. I'm like, ever since then, I've rather liked it, and I wasn't necessarily disappointed that the first classified Chuckles went retro because I expected it was going to, but I kind of wish that he had included a vest or something else that was a little less goofy. Um,
Yeah, I can see that.
but um, at some point, I'll go back and I'll get that figure. But I was kind of hoping at some point they'd put out another Chuckles, like a wide release Chuckles that maybe substituted some parts or went with a different color scheme or
A less
something that,
a less deluxe version.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause
I don't,
we're seeing Star Wars doing that with their uh vintage collection figures because one of the figures that just went up for pre-order today is uh is the Dark Trooper from the Mandalorian, minus the charging station. So it's comes on a card, so it's single carded. But
oh, is that why I thought the Dark Trooper was in the solicits today? I'm like,
yeah,
why wasn't that just? I didn't realize it wasn't a deluxe version. I saw it was there. I'm not a fan of the Dark Trooper, so I didn't stop and look at it. But
oh yeah, I absolutely love the Dark Troopers, but I'm passing on this because I already have three of the deluxe ones. So
I
what?
was gonna say you don't need this one.
Now I'm not keeping my Star Wars stuff carded anymore, so that would have been the only reason I would have bought it was to keep it on the card, but I'm not doing that anymore, so I'm skipping it entirely.
um, there's a Black Series set that the pictures came out for yesterday. It's a 4-pack from the Last Command, and it's very cool. I'm not getting it simply because I cherry picked the Star Wars line. I'm very minimalist on it. There's certain characters that I'll go after, or there's occasionally one that I'll see that I'm like, I may not be real prone to the character of the trooper, but I like it. But I have yet to buy a set of them. I don't. And the Last Command set is really cool. That Joris Sabayoth figure is excellent.
Top notch.
Um,
I'm not getting it obviously because it's 6-inch scale. If they did a 4-inch scale, I would have pre-ordered it already.
I I since I switched over to the 112 scale mostly, I like what they're doing with a lot of it. And it's not so much the price, so much as I'm not even close enough to a completist that I need more than one. I think I have two different Leia figures, and I think I have two different Luke figures. But for them, and all right, I have three or four different Lando figures, including one that I made a custom of. But I don't, I don't necessarily need different variations on everybody, like all the different outfits.
Yeah.
And Jedi Luke is cool, and Luke, his clone, it's a cool looking figure that I don't have any particular use for.
Yeah.
But cool stuff. But I kind of wish on the original book cover for The Last Command, they had Mara wearing a jumpsuit that had a like a light camo pattern on it because she was more like she was she was very different in the original books than the way she's portrayed in the action figures because she always was pictured in like green fatigues or like a green dress or a green tunic or something. And then that, I think about 95, 96, when the Heir to the Empire comic adaptation came out, she was in the sleeveless black like
Jumpsuit.
leather jumpsuit thing. And ever since then, that's kind of her most iconic look.
Yeah.
And it's cool. I get it. But as a guy who spent the years before that preferring the the look she had on the book covers with the green, I just I kind of I found it because the very first pictures of Mara that I saw outside of the book covers was in like the reference books. I had a book called the Star Wars Complete Guide to the Galaxy that I read cover to cover. It was like it was like a paper bound encyclopedia type thing, and
Mhm.
it had reference pictures for a lot of the Timothy Zahn characters.
Oh,
And Mara had a braid. She was wearing a tunic, kind of vaguely medieval looking, and that's how she got stuck in my head. Same with Talon Card. He looked like a character out of a Shakespeare novel or a Shakespeare play, and I sort of adopted that as the look in my head. And then the comic book came along, and he had a long hair and a sleeveless vest, and I'm like, I never pictured him as a hippie. But so this Last Command set is cool, but I don't need it. If they discount it, I'll get it. What?
yeah, I can see that.
Probably.
I won't pick it up just because of the scale, but it's it still amazes me like how many versions of Luke they'll make, but like how many figures from even like just the original movies and then the well-known expanded universe stuff that have never gotten figures. You're like, why is there not a figure for this? How has this guy not gotten a figure until now?
Well, there's characters like Mon Mothma. It took her almost 20 years to finally get a figure. Then there's only been a couple since. And then you've got the guys like Admiral Akbar, who every scale comes out, there's an Admiral Akbar figure.
Yeah.
Um, and then you've got guys like Wedge Antilles who come along, and there's always been great Wedge figures. They have yet to do a Wedge figure, I think, that isn't wearing the orange jumpsuit.
Hang on a sec.
Um,
So yeah, speaking of the like X-Wing pilots, did Biggs ever get a figure that wasn't him in a X-Wing pilot?
yeah, way back in the anniversary collection, he had the white jacket
Right.
with the fabric cape. Um, I would like to see Biggs in the Black Series at some point, and ideally they'd put him out in that outfit instead of the I know why they go with the X-wing outfit because that's how we saw him in the movie, but those deleted scenes are considered to be canon, and I kind of want to see a figure where he's got that snazzy get up that he wore to Anchorhead in his deleted scene.
I'm waiting
Um,
for the re-release. It's just going to be a repack of the Luke and the X-wing, but it's the one without the T crotch. So I'm waiting for that to come out. I think it's supposed to come out this summer. I need it for a custom.
um, yeah, it's kind of amazing to me that characters like Luke or pilots in general in the flight suits aren't out more often, like out all the time. I mean, I kind of get it because nothing stays on the market forever anymore, but it seems like things like pilots and stormtroopers and clone troopers and they should always be out available somewhere. Um,
Yeah, and I have a hard time disagreeing with that. You know, number one, if you're trying to fill in holes for collections. Number two, if you're an army builder. Number three, if you're one of the guys that does dios, those figures are just worth their weight in gold for dioramas to have 10 or 15 of them. And of course, for me as a customizer.
um, yeah, I it does always amaze me how often they put out a new stormtrooper in both scales, a new stormtrooper, and yet they're still not constantly available. It seems like a it seems like a weird oversight not to always have them out.
Yeah.
But then you could say the same thing about um, clone troopers. Although there are a lot of them coming in the Black Series now, I think there's a few in the Vintage collection too. But there was a long time where there were no clone troopers out in stores.
I'm
Um,
still waiting for a decently articulated Republic Commando in the vintage collection.
and it will happen eventually.
Yeah, I think so.
Um,
I think eventually. I'm just surprised that it hasn't so far.
um, well, and they did Delta Squad in the Black Series, and they did a generic all white Republic Commando. No, Imperial Commando for the Bad Batch line
Oh,
in the Black Series, but they're they've been exclusives.
ah,
Delta Squad was all exclusive to GameStop, um, and I think the Imperial Commando was Walmart exclusive, and so at some point they need to put out ones that aren't. But you know, as annoying as the exclusives can be, a lot of times it's the difference between either a character or trooper gets released as an exclusive or it doesn't get released at all.
it's
Um,
kind of funny that you mentioned exclusives. So my wife's best friend was here this last week. Her and her daughter's 13, is into anime. She got on Zoom with JD's firstborn there, and they talked anime for a couple hours. But she collects figures of her favorite anime figure characters, and she's like, I hate exclusives. I'm like, she gets it. I'm
yeah,
like,
I
oh,
mean,
but she came downstairs and saw my stuff, my collection and my customs, and was asking about something, and I was like, it was an exclusive Walmart exclusive or something like that. And she's like, oh, I hate exclusives. I'm like, yeah, I do too.
um, but I think, and the thing is, exclusives are nothing new. They've always been in the toy lines. But all the way back in the '80s, there were plenty of stores that had exclusives, but sometimes they're hard to get, sometimes they're not. But it is a lot of times the reality that these these buyers in these stores they want something that's exclusive to keep people coming to their store. And um it just a lot of times it means at least they're putting this thing out, even if it's tough to get, or if it's expensive, it's still coming out for the people who want it.
Yeah.
Whereas there's there's a good chance that if they're just going, and if you look at the general release stuff without any of the exclusives, there's a lot of characters that get left out. Um, um, but well, speaking of characters that have been released, boy, am I glad I am not a completist for anything, because
Holy,
I've seen online people posting pictures of their pre-order stuff that came out from Pulse and the various, and I'm talking like I've seen picture where one guy had a whole wave of X-Men stuff, uh, a couple of Star Wars things, and GI Joe Classified all on his counter. I'm like, all I had pre-ordered was a couple of GI Joe figures. Boy, am I glad I'm not a completist with anything, because it just seemed to all of a sudden hit all at once.
yeah,
Um,
let's get into it. So, I mean, since the last show, the two figures I've got sitting here that I was not going to wait to open until we talked again. Um, number one was the 60th anniversary Army Trooper,
yeah, I don't have that figure. I like it, but I don't have it.
which is really cool. I really dig it. The thing that I found most interesting and amusing by that is his the pouches that he has on his plate carrier are modular like Marauder.
Um, yeah, Doc's gonna be the same way when he comes out. Um,
Found that amusing that they're like, yeah, Marauder's doing something pretty cool there. Maybe we ought to do that.
and it makes perfect sense. You know, they say, um, well, the imitation is a sincere form of flattery. Well, when you've got a good idea, run with it. Um,
And then the other one that came out with him was the Navy SEAL, which I absolutely love. I hate the backpack because it came with the same torpedo backpack, but everything else about this figure is just fucking amazing. He comes with a shit ton of gear, and on top of that, he can hold all of the gear he comes with,
I was
which
just gonna ask.
which
Um,
Navy SEAL, ton of gear, and he can hold it all. Perfect figure right there.
um,
I absolutely love this figure. The gun isn't too bad. I know you don't particularly care for that particular gun, but I don't hate it.
mine, no, the design's okay, but I have two of them, and they are both, um, they're both real rubbery. One was not not like a C shape, but it was, and I've tried to fix both of them, and one
I,
was more successful than the other.
I've
So
tried.
honestly, if they'd put that, if they'd put that weapon out in proper plastic that doesn't warp or bend, I'd probably really like it, but I'm kind of biased right now. So
And I got one more before you get into it. I got the Valorverse Swarm Trooper here. Uh, it's mostly translucent plastic.
is that glow in the dark?
I don't know. I haven't checked yet.
Sure as hell looks like it should be glow in the
Like
dark.
it looks like it is, but I don't believe that it is. But it's translucent plastic, which I just fucking love translucent plastic action figures. So
Yeah, put a translucent figure out, or put a gimmicky package around it. Brian's into it.
yeah,
Um,
so I had to get one of those. One of the figures I don't have here right now, I've got another one of the. There's a Big Bad Toy Store version of it. It's red and black. I've That's exclusive. I got that waiting in my pile of loot, and then the retro Recondo is also waiting for me in my pile of loot. It looks like there's a shit ton of stuff still going to come out this month or the beginning of next. So I'm waiting until my pile of loot is bigger to get that. So I've been waiting for that Recondo for a long time, so I'm going to wait a little bit longer.
I didn't feel any particular need to get any of these current retro GI Joe figures. I skipped them all.
Tempted on the Scarlet. I haven't decided yet. If I see it, I'll pick it up.
I still really like the first Classified Scarlet we got. I like the repaint of her that came out like a year later. Her she's got better paint on the face. So I did a head swap with the second. So it's the second Classified Scarlet's head on the first Scarlet, and so I'm still biased. I still really like this design. I'm not one that ever felt they needed to do a classic update of all of them. I I like Classified Duke. I'm not. I don't. The retro one's okay, but I'm not really crazy about either version. So, I don't. I've got my Tiger Force one because of
Yeah,
the
I think
color scheme.
good with the Tiger Force.
Yeah, I don't. Um, there isn't really anything about this new Duke that was a huge improvement. So, um, yeah, I could skip it. And I like Tiger Force Recondo. I liked him when I was a kid. I like him better now. But
Hot garbage.
um, like the upcoming retro stuff, of course I'm gonna get a Snow Serpent.
Yeah.
And I don't remember what else is coming out in the retro
No,
line.
no Serpent Eel. I forgot.
The eel I can skip. I can't see any difference between the um and like I know there's like a retro Cobra Commander. um I have one classified Cobra Commander that I had to modify to make it tolerable, and it still sucks. And I could not give a flying shit about the vintage design for Cobra Commander. I don't care.
What doesn't suck? The fucking metalhead figure.
Dude, this figure is phenomenal. I have not fucked with the missiles yet.
I only have one
And
complaint, and that is the missiles in the top rack won't fit in the missile launchers themselves.
the only complaint I have is I really dislike the cords that came with the.
Yeah,
They do not fit worth a goddamn in these. It's 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 like the
mine are glue.
socket is too narrow, and I can fix it, but I don't have the patience to right
I
now.
already
I
did.
don't.
Yep, I sat down and fixed it. Not last night, but the night before. Yeah, the holes in the missile launcher are too small for the pegs of the hose. So yeah, I went in with a dremeled it out, and then the holes in the backpack are too big.
Oh, okay. I hadn't even gotten that far yet with it.
Yeah, so the holes in the backpack are too big, and the holes in the missile launchers are too small. I went ahead and just glued mine in place because I'm never going to sell it. So it's not actually damaging the figure, the value of the figure.
um, yeah, you know what? I'm just gonna sit here and fuck with it for a few minutes.
You're gonna No, don't do that. You're gonna hate it. It's just gonna piss you off. Trust me, because it just pissed me off. Because that's exactly what I did. I'm like, I'm gonna sit down and just fuck with it for a few minutes till I get it to work. I couldn't get it to work, so I sat down with a Dremel and some super glue.
It made it work.
I made it work.
All right. Well, the whole size seems to be okay on the backpack for mine, but
Mine would not stay plugged in.
Yeah, it won't stay plugged into the. God, that's fucking annoying.
Yeah, the helmet that he comes with is super cool. I like the fact that he's got the just the hair and then the hair with the goggles. The only other thing I didn't like about it was that he came with one of these stupid rifles. I absolutely hate this fucking gun.
And that's the one that mine is holding.
Yeah.
Um, I like it, and I really like that they added the red to it. Um, I even joked with Brian. He's like, I hate that. He's like, I have another weapon for you. I was like, yeah, I was pretty sure that the red wasn't going to sell you on it.
You know,
Yeah,
if
last time.
it's actually not too far off from the gun that the vintage one came with, but just the fact that I'm already annoyed with that particular mold to begin with did not help at all.
No. When we did the show last, I said that I wish that the convention, Tomax and Zaymot, I like the gold MP5, but I wish that it had come with one of these rifles in gold. And since Brian sent me a couple, well, I spray painted it. So now they do have a gold version of the Sunbow style lasers, and I like it. Yeah, you sent me a few of them, and now I'm glad you're sending me a few more. So
Yeah. Yeah, I've already started a pile, obviously. So one of the other things I got with the Crimsons uh was uh since it was on deep discount, I went ahead and got the Detroit Steel figure. I'm still a little annoyed that it's basically just a um, Ironmonger repaint with some greebles added to it.
I was
But
gonna say what the things on this bed, those are new, right?
yeah, those are new.
Yeah.
It's just an Ironmonger with some greebles added to it. It's got some pneumatics on the back in the arms, which is kind of cool, but it really inhibits the articulation because if you move it too far away, then the piston falls out.
Oh, that's annoying.
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
it's cool, but at the same
Detroit,
time, it's like annoying.
Detroit Steel, he's kind of a minor character though, so I get why they didn't do anything particularly exciting with him.
Yeah. But at the
Um,
same time, I'm annoyed as an Iron Man fan. But since it was, and when I saw that, I was like, "Oh, they're making a Detroit Steel figure. I'm gonna have to get that for my Iron Man collection." Then I saw it was a Ironmonger repaint. I'm like, not at that price, because it's like $64 originally or something like that. Something stupid. But when it went to the Hasbro outlet deep discount website, I'm like, okay, now $40. I'll spring for it for at $40.
that's cool. Um, yeah, so I opened Metalhead yesterday. I got because Sunday Quick Kick showed up.
Oh, nice.
Um, this figure is phenomenal. He didn't come with it. He didn't come with the pistol. It's Big Ben's pistol. I don't particularly like it with Big Ben, but it does work as a sidearm for Quick Kick. But this figure, this figure is just gorgeous. I don't.
Yeah, it is nice.
It's it's kind of one of those where it's it's exactly an update of the vintage, but it's also exactly what he needed to be. And they killed it with this. There's no reused parts. They're all new. He's got a backpack with two swords. He's got two sets of nunchucks. Um, he,
Didn't his original backpack just hold one sword?
yeah. Well,
Yeah.
he came with one sword, and so his backpack held one sword, and he came with one nunchuck. But they've got both for this, and the backpack is all new. And holy shit, what a great figure! Um,
The
I
backpack
got
came with is kind of to me is like reminiscent of the version 1 Jinx backpack.
yeah, In fact, um, in fact, it's kind of weird.
Talking to the camera.
Yeah, it's actually kind of annoying because the one complaint I have about the upcoming classified Jinx is that she just has the sword sheath backpack. She actually doesn't have a vintage style backpack like Quick Kick does. So, and she only comes with one sword. So, um, I don't. I feel like they could have reused Quick Kick's backpack for her and given her the two swords. Otherwise, I think that Jinx figure's phenomenal. Like I love what they're doing with it, but if it's half as cool, or if future martial artists in the line are half as cool as this Quick Kick figure, I'll be very
Yeah,
happy.
I'm impressed. The quick kick definitely looks nice, and I love the fact that he comes with the frozen fudgy bar
Oh yeah, that is
knife that I totally dig.
I some of the accessories are still in the tray because I need to get some organization and I don't want to lose the fudgy bar, but I've seen a few pictures online of people of him holding it, kind of shooting like a commercial, and holy shit, what a great accessory.
Yeah. I've got a when I put my figures up on the wall, I've got a bigger one of these that I put for stuff that gets lost like that. I call it the fuck it bucket. So anything that I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna lose this, or fuck it, it won't stay on the figure, or fuck it, I do not want to, yeah, I don't want to lose this, or fuck it, there's just not enough room for this. It goes in the fuck it bucket.
Good idea.
You need a
Really
fuck
good
bucket.
idea. Now I did save my Techno Viper to open on the show. Um, I believe Brian got a figure today. You didn't open your Techno Vipers either. Um,
I bought two, so
um,
I'd saved one to open on the show with JD. So
Usually we like to go with the let's open a different figure, but in this case, um, no, I had to.
I've still got
As
another
a
figure to open too. So
um, I mean, I have a Power Rangers figure I could open, but I'm not going to do that. Um,
because Amazon got here about an hour ago with Airborne, so we'll take a look at Airborne here in a minute.
um, yeah, I haven't opened. I have not ordered Airborne yet.
Airborne was one of my first probably three GI Joe figures, so there was no way I was going to miss that one.
Um, I Airborne. I had him when I was a kid, but I think I got him from a mail away offer because um, he was one of the many figures that were available from Hasbro Direct later on. So I think I got him from that. Um, but yeah, I'll get him at some point. He's just he's a character that like I really like him, but I didn't need to have him right away, and I simply can't buy entire waves anymore. So not from lack of wanting to, but simply because lack of resources to do so. But I did like I'm skipping Big Boa entirely.
Yeah,
I could not I could not care any less about that if I tried.
I it looks like a really cool figure. It looks like a good mix of the original, the vintage, and the figure subscription service figure.
Yeah.
But I didn't have it as a kid, didn't want it as a kid. I've never That's one Cobra figure I've never owned and have no intention of owning, even though I have just about every Cobra figure there is. That's not that's not one that I plan on getting.
I mean, it's a very cool update to a figure that I never gave a shit about one way or the other. Now, sometimes a brand new updated figure that kicks all kinds of ass can get me on board, like Classified Crocmaster. Until that figure, I didn't give it. I mean, I had the 25th Crocmaster, but I have never given a shit about Crocmaster. But the 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 classified version just looks so good. The detail was so good, and I like the alligator, the gator or the gators that he came with, and there was enough there, and I had just enough of a penchant for Crocmaster to say, yeah, you know what, worth buying.
If I
Not so
buy the
big.
Croc
Oh,
Master figure, all of those crocodiles will disappear. My wife will take them. I was opening my Crimson set the other night while my wife and her best friend were here, and I pulled out the snake for that came with the Baroness, and she's like, "Ooh, is that a snake?" I'm like, "No, you can't have it." She's like, "Why not?" Like, you can't have it.
um,
So yeah, if I got Crocmaster, those things would be gone. They'd
that's
be with Desk Rat.
um, I kind of wish the tools were silver.
I kind of wish they weren't flimsy plastic.
Well, once I stuffed them in the backpack, I stopped giving a shit if they were flimsy plastic because it's gonna be one of those where I'm probably not gonna pull them out very often, so that's okay with me. I do wish I wish they were silver just to contrast with the backpack. I'm not hung up on it because the vintage ones were silver. I'm just hung up on it because they're really cool sculpts and they now they don't even look like they're separate things. They look like they're part of the backpack. Um,
That whole holographic heads up display is awesome.
agreed.
That is one of the like simplest but coolest accessories I've seen in a long time.
um,
I freaking love that. And I love the fact that it's ambidextrous. So there's a peg hole on both gauntlets. Um, so that it'll plug into either one. That's gonna go in the fuck it bucket. Cause yeah, I got two Techno Vipers and I did open the first one already. So
um, I was surprised you waited on opening. Uh, uh, I'm surprised you waited on opening both of them. Yeah, that is such a cool the detailing on it is awesome,
yeah.
but like just the presence of that accessory is that's so cool. Like I always liked the futuristic edge to the technology GI Joe would integrate, and
Especially
that that is a perfect addition to it.
my only other complaint, and this is nitpicking by far, is that his vest, the the vest and the hoses are sculpted to the torso. I would have liked to have had that as a vest, so I could have taken it off and used it on and made a used it for a custom because I would have made a female Techno Viper.
I wondered if the cord was going to be an issue for you. But I do like that I think oh yeah, the shoulder armor is a separate piece, so that's cool.
Yeah, so everything else could have come off except the you know the torso is molded, and that's fine. I mean, it's you know I love the figure. I think it's fantastic. It yeah, I love the figure. I mean, Techno Viper was one of the first specialty Vipers I got as a kid. I used that thing all the time. Um, and uh this is a fantastic update.
you
It's like we were
know,
talking about a minute ago how it's a good blend of the original and then the updated figure. So the 50th anniversary Techno Viper, or no, the Pursuit of Cobra Techno Viper. Sorry, it came out Pursuit of Cobra, I think. Um, and the vintage. This is a fantastic blend of both of those.
Yeah, this is the Techno Vipers. They were real futuristic when the original came out in '87, and they're still futuristic, but I feel like the world of technology has caught up with it. No, has gotten closer to it. And so a release of a Techno Viper in this modern age makes more sense than
Yeah,
ever.
absolutely.
And the helmet sculpt is just beautiful.
Yeah, it is. And the paint apps are amazing on it. They did a fantastic job with this.
Um, yeah, I only need one of them, but this is cool enough that if I was building squads or if I was building a unit, I might be tempted to get a second one.
I've pre-ordered the so we talked about it on the last show. I pre-ordered the Cobra MMS through
Uh,
Pulse. So I'll have that Techno Viper too, but I figure it's just a matter of time before they have a Stinger. So I want that MMS for my Stinger, and I want the Techno Viper because the Techno Viper looks awesome. That color scheme looks awesome.
Um, yeah, because I think the only other color scheme the Techno Viper ever had was that Star Brigade version, right?
Yeah.
And that was just a little bit of gold on purple again.
Yeah,
But
it was a yeah, it was
yeah,
weird.
not a particularly interesting repaint.
Yeah, and it didn't have the Cobra sigil on it. It was a weird repaint.
Um, it was it was definitely a 1994 pack-in figure. You can tell that it was it that they probably that they minimized the paint apps on it. Um, I'm actually kind of surprised that the gold was there. But the yeah, this Techno Viper is man, this is a good figure.
All right, hang on a sec here. All right, so that is not the only thing that we've gotten. Well, I didn't get one, but JD did since the last show, and that is the Vamp.
Yes. I I love it.
What's
Um, it's in the car. I'm taking pictures of it.
uh,
Um, yeah, I didn't even think to get it out of the car. Yeah,
go
because
get it.
I posted some
Go get it.
pictures of it last week.
Go get it. Go get it. I'll pause.
What? All
I'll
right.
pause. I want to
All
see
right.
it. All right. Oh crap, man.
And the mirrors actually do reflect.
Oh wow. How about
Um, and
that?
the windshield drops down so
Oh,
they can actually shoot through. Um, and the handles detach for the guys hanging off the running boards. And I did order the gridiron roll cage for the
yeah.
back.
I was gonna
It
ask
wasn't,
if you
huh?
ordered that. I was gonna ask if you ordered the
Yeah,
gridiron
it
thing for it.
it wasn't it wasn't the thing that I really felt like was missing until they revealed that it was out on because Mark was on the A Toy Kind of Mood podcast and he unveiled it. I'm like, oh, I guess it does need a roll cage.
Huh.
The yeah, this the hood has an engine, actually a separate piece. Um, the this thing they can repaint this as a Stinger. They can repaint it as a Vamp Mark II. They can repaint it as They can repaint it in camo, like the Danger at the Docks, or it doesn't matter. This thing is awesome. This thing will be cool in every color scheme. It's hard to see on here, but the dashboard actually has a bunch of painted highlights on it.
Nice.
Um, um, like the whole dashboard is sculpted. It's all painted. Um, yeah, it really just I'm just really glad that everything on here was a tampo and there were no stickers to apply.
Ah, okay.
But uh, yeah, I don't particularly need the winch, but it's nice that it's there. Um, the only complaint I have is that the lights that because there's two other sets of lights that go up here. I
Yeah.
can't get them to stay on to save my fucking life. Um, I don't know if that's a widespread problem or what, but um,
Yeah.
I
I haven't watched anybody's review or discussion on it at all.
yeah, I watched Travis's from A Toy Kind of Mood, but I've seen a few video like a few like videos where people post like the short ones on Facebook or whatever. But so I don't know if it's actually an issue or if my problem is that I'm just klutzy and I keep knocking them off. That is entirely possible. That
Yeah,
it is not a problem with the vehicle, but
that is definitely.
this is this is so cool. I am so glad that I ordered this, and they can't make a stinger soon enough for Ryan.
No,
Um,
yeah, I'm looking forward to that for sure. I don't have a vintage Stinger in my collection, but I've got the 25th anniversary one and I got the retro one last year. So I will definitely pick up the classified Stinger when it gets announced.
um, and Clutch, um, he's got the tattoos. Uh, one of them, it's got race flags, and
Yeah, see that.
it's got like a flaming skull or something. But on the other side, uh, it's got like a pinup girl with
Nice.
like I think engine components or something below her. But I'm like, that is the most clutch tattoo they could have possibly put
Yeah,
on.
that's awesome.
Um, wait, no, actually, yeah, I think they're spark plugs or so. I don't know enough about cars, but yeah, it's definitely car components of some sort. But yeah, the pinup tattoo,
That's
honestly, they got clutch perfectly. I wouldn't change a thing on this figure.
the only thing that could make it better is if it came dripping in grease.
Well, only because he greases his hair with motor oil and still called women chicks. Um,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
uh,
If his hair was greasy, that would make it the
he,
the only thing that could make that any better.
yeah, they really just he's another one up there with rock and roll that I think it captures Clutch, the character perfectly. And like rock and roll, I don't feel a need to make a single modification on this guy. And you know how rare it is for me to find a figure that I feel no need to make any mod because sometimes it's just one or two small tweaks,
Yeah,
but I don't I don't need to on Clutch. I think they did everything right with this figure that they needed to do.
that is a
Um
bold statement coming from you, sir.
yeah. They really Yeah, they knocked this one out of the park. I have yet to get a picture of him with rock and roll though, which now seems like an oversight in retrospect. But like I said, the vamp was out in the car because I took some pictures of it last week, and I'm gonna take it out again to get some more pictures of it this week. But yeah, I'll have to put rock and roll out there too.
Absolutely.
But yeah, in fact, I should get a picture of them with Stalker and Scarlet and Hawk, um, and Grunt. Um, it's kind of amazing how much of the original 13 we actually have so far.
I was just thinking,
Um, the only other one of the original 13 that I need in this line is Flash. But
That's what you were gonna say.
but I think it's gonna happen. It's just a matter of time.
Yeah, I think so. I don't see them not doing all of the original 13 somehow.
Yeah, because even and once they do Flash, there's absolutely no reason not to do Grand Slam. All I can hope is that they do Flash with a with proper padding or armor on, and uh that it does not have an articulation cut in the middle of the armor like the 25th version did. The awkward articulation, I am not a guy who has a problem with the torso articulation unless you put it in the middle of Flash's uh uh torso armor.
I sometimes it's okay, other times, man, it's just so distracting that the mid torso cut is just
Yeah,
ugh.
more often than not,
Like
I
it
don't
works on
notice it too much.
the Techno Viper. You don't see it.
I
On
was gonna say because they put that little bib part right to the top of it, so it's not noticeable. Honestly, I'd say on the vast majority of the figures, even even if the torso joint is visible, I don't really notice it. Um,
I
but
was
yeah,
I was
when
trying to
it
which one recently that I got that's like it just bugged the fuck out of me. I don't remember which figure that was though.
um it bothers me mildly on Storm Shadow, but not enough to try to do anything about it.
Might have been
Um,
it might have been Storm Shadow.
um, but for the most part, I don't mind it too much. Like it doesn't bother me at all on Tunnel Rat. Um, it doesn't bother me at all on rock and roll or characters where a lot of times it's not it doesn't and it's different on Bazooka because he just swivels. He doesn't have the the point like this, but does bother me on Bazooka either. Yeah, it just annoys me on it. Yeah, there aren't really too many. Actually, I take that back. It annoyed the shit out of me on low light when one of the buckles on his vest was sculpted. Half of the buckle was sculpted on one side of the joint, and the other half of the buckle was sculpted on the other side of the joint. And I'm like,
Yeah.
really, really? They couldn't have just moved that just a little bit so it was on one side of the joint or another? Really? That annoyed me. But
I don't think I noticed that actually, but
um,
all right. So one last thing to take a look at, and that is Airborne.
um, yeah. All the pictures I've seen, he is a great looking figure, and I will get it eventually.
I like the fact that the picture on the back, he's on the Easter Island.
I was watching that episode of the cartoon last week. Um, um, I like when they put Sunbow references with these figures.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. I mean, yeah,
For anybody who grew up on both the comic book and the cartoon, it's I love when they pay tribute to both.
yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Well, I think they did a pretty good job with this. I absolutely hate the gun that he comes with.
I
It's
was
absolutely
wondering your thoughts on the gun.
it's garbage.
Yeah,
Uh,
it's not a good. It was.
it looks like a bad sculpt of Beachhead's original gun.
Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking with that. I'm not.
It's got a removable silencer, which is kind of cool because I noticed that he's got a spot on his holster for a silencer. So, um, That's kind of cool. Let's see if and the pistol will take the silencer.
Oh, it actually moves between the weapons. That's cool.
Yeah,
Um,
they're pretty flimsy, but
I'm shocked. Shocked.
it definitely goes better. The silencer definitely goes better on the. Wait, hang on a second here. Let's reverse it. There we go. Yeah, so there's a larger hole at one end than a smaller hole at the other. It doesn't. It's not perfect, but it's not horrible either.
Oh, the holes on one's for the gun, one's probably for a blast effect.
Well,
Um,
the barrel in the pistol is smaller than the barrel in the rifle.
oh,
So
um,
so it kind of works. You can reverse it, one for the rifle and one for the pistol.
oh, all right, that's cool. So aside of the shitty gun that he comes with, you is the other gear okay? Like you're cool with the rest of the figure?
Yeah, actually, I love the fact he's got a removable knife. That was one of the things I, longed for as a kid, especially on this figure. Was he had that big old knife across his chest.
I don't even think the 25th version they experimented with removable knives and stuff in the 25th line, but I don't think Airborne's came out.
Mm-mm.
Um,
He's got night vision, got the 4-barrel night vision goggles. I absolutely love that. That's an awesome update. He's the goggles come off, so he's got goggles that he can wear, and then he's got the goggles um in their case. So like anybody that's been in the military knows that they're like the goggles. There's like a soft nylon case that or bag that you can put the goggles in while they're on your helmet. So he's got a pair of those.
does the color match? Because it should match if it doesn't.
It does.
All right, that's cool. Because I see the pictures. I've looked at a lot of pictures of Airborne, and they always look like it's a match in the picture, but you're never sure if it's a lighting or whatever. So,
No, it's the same. It's the same color plastic. 100%.
um, how do the the plug for the goggle the quad tubes out? Does it fit okay in the helmet or is it
Yeah,
rickety?
it fits perfectly, and
All right, good.
it looks like the helmet sculpted for him to wear the goggles too, because it looks like there's a gap in there for them. So let's.
Well, that's good because if he's air assaulting in a dust storm, well, probably good to protect his eyes. Um, I was watching Black Hawk Down last week, and I'm like, oof. Um,
Yep, there is just enough. There's a noticeable gap in the helmet for the goggles to fit under.
oh, that's cool though. All right, it's a nice attention to detail. I
Yeah,
like it.
yeah. No, it's fantastic. It's the original Airborne was a very simple figure, very simple paint, abs, night, just a real simple sculpt. Uh, and they did a really good job with this.
And when you say simple, you are not saying that in a negative connotation. You are
No,
saying that as it was a simple sculpt that worked perfectly for
yeah,
exactly what it was. Um,
100%. It's what it needed to be. Yeah,
and this is a great update of that.
yeah,
Because, you know, as much as I think a lot of the 25th line fell apart quickly, the 25th Airborne was that was one that I think it still stands up. It's still a cool looking figure.
yeah,
It was a great update of the vintage one, and this looks like a great just as great an update, if not better.
yeah. No, 100%. I absolutely detest the weapon he came with, but the rest of it is phenomenal.
So you just need to rearm him and you'll be good.
Yeah, I saw Gridiron's got a package for him. I don't know that I need the whole package, but if I can just
Uh,
get the rifle, I'll get that.
Um, yeah, I like most of the loadout they did there, but um, there, there's a weird charm because in the original line, Airborne's backpack was the same backpack as Duke's,
Yeah.
and there's some kind of charm about the classified Airborne coming with the same backpack as Duke. Um, um, Otherwise, I think the loadout's great, but there's that there's that just hint of nostalgia that I can appreciate. I like my nostalgia in small spoonfuls, and that's one of them. But on
I
the
like
other hand,
technology to hit me in the
vintage Airborne came with a
baseball bat.
great rifle, and this one sucks.
Yeah, no, I like my nostalgia to hit me in the face like a baseball bat, and the Airborne does that, and it does it very well. Um, Not seeing any paint issues on mine. All the joints are good. Uh, Again, the rifle is just hot garbage. So
I mean, well, would you rather arm him with the weapon he came with, or the little Cobra pistols that you hate? Which one's better?
like asking which turd smells worse.
Well, which turd smells worse?
I don't know. I think I've got another classified scale gun here. Uh, no, it's a spear gun from Torpedo. Um,
That is the only weapon that would not be an improvement with Airborne.
yeah, agreed.
Um,
Yeah, I don't. So this is why I don't. People keep asking me why I don't customize 112 scale stuff. I don't have the depth of the fodder like I do on 118 scale. I mean, I have drawers and drawers and drawers of pieces, accessories, figures, just tons and tons of stuff that I can just like I'm bored. I'm gonna put a figure together just from what I have on hand. I
I
mean,
do that with my classified custom. Sometimes I'll buy other things to go with it, and sometimes I'll just see what I can make out of what I have on hand. But
can't do that with this. I can't do that with 112 scale stuff. I don't have the depth. The
well, and and I can
not
sim,
going to.
but the thing is, in order to do that with the classified stuff, you do have to buy into other lines. So I've got Marvel stuff. I have um I've got some Star Wars stuff. I've
And
got Power Rangers. I've got
I have almost every Iron Man figure they've ever made, but it doesn't that doesn't do anything for GI Joe. I've got
no.
a few Punisher figures. Um, I got the Black Widow, the Jim Lee Black Widow figure that came out a couple years ago. I'm gonna open that here pretty soon. I haven't opened that yet.
Um yeah, I took some pictures of her last year with Tiger Force Duke on the back of the Tiger Force motorcycle.
Yeah, I remember
Um
that.
yeah, like Top Gun style. But um yeah, you do in order to customize the 112 scales, you do have to buy into other lines.
Yeah. And
Um
that's what I've done with 118 scale stuff. I've bought into other lines. I mean, I've got a bucket of just Joy Toy parts sitting here. I've got a bucket in here that's just boss fight stuff. I've got another bucket that's just Marauder Task Force stuff. I've got one bucket here that's just Star Wars figures. I got another bucket that's just GI Joe figures. I just
um
I'm not buying into two different scales. I just can't afford to do it.
well, and that makes sense though because your passion lies with the 118 stuff. Where yeah, I've never been I've never been I mean, I grew up with the 3 3/4 inch stuff, but that's what I had. Anytime the only exceptions to that were like the Ninja Turtles and Star Trek, but I never they never crossed over with my GI Joe stuff. But now as a discerning adult, yeah, I prefer the 112 stuff, but that's because the choice was there. So I went with it. And for display purposes, I prefer it. But there's there are things that I do wish were available in the 112 scale that isn't. Like, I love the Boss Fight Studios Oro figures. I don't have one in the 12 scale, and I wish I did.
That's what gets me is then I see stuff in 112 scale. And it's funny you should mention the boss fight because they just put out a oh, I don't know if it's out yet or not. I think it is because I think Julian did a review on it. Uh Red Sonja. And it looks amazing, but
Oh
it's
yeah, it's 112th, right? Yeah.
$50. Like I'm not
Um,
spending $50 on a 112 scale on one 112 scale figure when that's not what I want.
um, well, like you said about the Last Command set, if it was vintage collection, you'd be all over it.
Yeah.
Um, whereas, um, um, whereas if you like, you buy all the, you buy the vintage collection stuff, no matter really what it is. But um, I look at, um, I look at the Black Series stuff, and I'm like, it's still playing catch up with the character selections. They they have a couple of they have an Attack of the Clones Padme Amidala from the arena, and they've just now got one coming out from the Phantom Menace uh in the purple outfit that she wore for the Battle of Theed. But they don't have any of the elaborate makeup Queen figures. And whereas if I look at the 3 3/4 inch line, I mean, it took a long time, many, many years to make it, but they have made not almost all of her outfits, but they have made a shitload of the different outfits. And they're they're much slower to roll that stuff out at the larger scale. And
That reminds me, let me mention it before I forget, because I did forget the last episode because we had talked about Emily and I went to see Dune 2. One of the things that we did see at the theater was the poster
oh right, yeah.
the poster for the 25th anniversary of Phantom Menace, which they're going to release on May the 4th.
Um
Going to be back in the theaters, and I'm sure most everybody probably knows that by now because I've seen a bunch of stuff. I've already seen memes about it in my Facebook feed. So I figure if people are memeing it, they know that it's coming. So I just kind of miffed that I forgot to mention it last show that hey, yeah, Phantom Menace is going to be out for the 25th anniversary release, and yes, we are going to go and see that.
um well, as am I. I In fact, in between now and then, before that comes out, I would actually like to do an episode about the Phantom Menace because it was a huge release then, and there's a lot to talk about. And it is my favorite of the prequels, and I am very excited about this re-release. But yeah, I would like to do a Phantom Menace uh, episode. But I yeah, I will absolutely be at the theater for that. I'm very glad that they're doing this, and I will say sometimes it's fucking hard to believe that it's been 25 years since that movie came out. I
Yeah.
don't
I was in
I
paramedic
don't
when it came out.
I don't approve of how quickly time is flying by. I don't like it.
I kind of do because I'm getting closer to retirement. So
Um yes. Um
yeah,
I mean, okay, well, I did well, okay. Remember when everybody went to go see Avengers Endgame in the theater? And now everybody disappears. 5 years elapsed. In that movie, it says 5 years later. That brings that movie, um, at the time into 2023 or 2024, and now we are here in the real world. And I'm like, oh my god, time has elapsed in the real world the same way time skipped in that movie. And I'm like,
Yeah.
how's it possible that Endgame came out 5 years ago? How is that possible?
Wow.
I don't, I don't. It's so. I mean, we're now 4 years out from quarantine. I don't know where the time's gone. This is very strange.
Like I
I
said,
just know that
I hate
I
getting
miss
older, but I like getting
quarantine.
closer to retirement. So,
Yeah, I miss quarantining. Um, I don't. Not the reason for it. That sucked. But the world in the state of quarantine.
it was a unique time, that's for sure. When I was quarantining to deploy, um, it was during, well, I mean, it was the whole year I was in South America going back and forth, but the it was football season. So on Sunday, I get up because what they do is they put us in a hotel room for 2 weeks. You couldn't leave the hotel room for 2 weeks. Um, so I would get up early on Sunday, turn on the TV, start up the FaceTime, and I would watch football with my mom all day long. So,
And doesn't seem like it's been 4 years since that, but there it is. Um, I don't,
and we were
you
talking
know,
about Alice. I mean, we've had Alice for almost 5 years now because we got her in 2019.
and she's still a puppy. I mean, she's as ridiculous as a puppy is. Um, but yeah, it's yeah, 4 years. Yeah, and I still working from home. They're just leaving us working from home. Thank God. Because
Hmm.
I rolled out of bed late this morning. I had 5 minutes to spare before I had to punch into work. I look back to the whole morning commute, and I'm like, no, I don't miss it. I don't miss that. Um,
Yeah, I don't blame you. I'm a little jealous of that because I work a 48-hour shift and I have 4 days off. But so I just worked my 48 and I'm in the middle of my 4 day, but I had to go into work today for a meeting and I got to go into work tomorrow for God damn that thing. I got to
and
go
you are not even giving that a thumbs up, but it's making it look like you're giving a thumbs up to going into work in the middle of your 4 day
right. And I got to
vacation.
go in tomorrow work tomorrow for training and then the day after that it's my 48 again. So I didn't even get my time off. So and
Um,
that's me bitching, but because I'm not in a good mood today. So sorry.
well, being sick will do that to you.
Yeah,
Um,
and I'm
uh,
sick for the third fucking time this year, man. I'm getting tired of that.
um, you know what you should do? You should quarantine.
Yeah, if they would let me work from home. It's kind of funny because when they started talking about when that started going up, started when COVID kicked off, that's what they one of the first recommendations was work from home if you can. At the time, I was working on an oil rig off the coast of Africa, and I was talking to my physician on the shore, and I'm like, so they're saying that we should work from home. I'm like, maybe I'll do that. And he just thought that was hilarious. It's like, and yeah, and man, here we are.
Very strange.
Yeah.
Um, do you really remember the world before then? I do, but I don't. There's things, but it just seems. I remember when the quarantine started, and when like I started working from home, and people like, we'll bring people back once things go back to the way it was. And boy, only you could have imagined things would never go back to the way they were before
I
that.
I do only because I was working out in the world. I mean,
Yeah,
not
I was gonna say
not just here in the States. I was
yeah,
in
you've
Europe. I was in Africa. I was in the Middle East.
Yeah,
And
I have a much more limited worldview because I have made it up to Toronto, Canada, which is an hour and a half from where I live. I have never been further from the US than Toronto, Canada. So, um, I would like to see Scotland and England someday,
worth it. Totally.
but I don't. So someday, but yeah, I've never. So yeah, you've been you've been to every continent except
Antarctica.
yeah. I had a brain fart on the name of it. Um, I was gonna call it Hoth, honestly. Um, um,
And that's only because I can't get a job there. If I could get a
uh,
job there, I'd probably go for at least a year.
um, yeah, I there's a Facebook page I follow where it's some research. It's some research outfit in Antarctica. They'll post videos of somebody opening the door and doing like a panorama of it's wilderness.
Yeah.
Whether there's a lot of snow or there's very little snow, it's just wilderness. It's like you'll see like equipment stuff and like some cargo, uh, like some uh, the big whatever you call those things.
Consciousness.
Um, yeah, and then just open space, and I'm like, and you know they'll be like, yeah, it's quiet down here. Wait, it's quiet here every day. And I'm like, I would imagine.
Yeah. All right. I think that's about all we've got for this particular episode. We went over like shit ton of new toys, ton of new GI Joe stuff coming out right now. Um, so as always, please do that fun social media stuff. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. Let us know what new GI Joe or what new stuff that you got that you thought was awesome. And um, there's even more stuff coming. I mean, we got Doc and the like JD was mentioned, some of the retro figures are coming. So it's it's a
Um,
cool time for the 6-inch GI Joe stuff.
you've got Doc pre-ordered, right? And
Um,
the
somewhere I think.
Doc and Night Creeper, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I pre-ordered the Night Creeper already. I'm sure I did Doc, but I don't remember where. I've been like hedging my bets on that. Just doing like I'll do one at Hasbro Pulse, I'll do one at Amazon, and I'll do one at Big Bad Toy Store because they seem to get them at different times. I lucked out with Big Bad Toy Store because they got the Diver and the 60th anniversary guys in first, and the retro Recondo, but I'm waiting on that, so I didn't. But they're still saying it's like a month, 2 months before they're going to have the Techno Vipers, and I'm like, fuck it, canceled my pre-order there, and
Ah,
Amazon's
oh
like, we'll
yeah,
for it the same
yeah,
fucking day. I'm like, do it, prove that you can.
yeah. Because the other day I texted you. I'm like, kind of ironic that my Techno Viper is going to be here tomorrow. That I'll have one before you get because they're one of your favorite things. And then you're yesterday you texted me, my Techno Vipers are will be here tomorrow. I'm like, how the fuck? I'm like, where did oh I didn't realize you
No,
said fuck
I
it's
figured
big
my
bad and you
today.
ordered it for
I did the same day delivery on them.
oh that's cool. Yeah, because yeah, you're like they're out for delivery. I'm like, how the fuck? I thought you weren't okay. That all right, that makes
Yeah.
sense.
So I'm pretty sure I've got Doc pre-ordered somewhere. I know I've already pre-ordered the Night Creeper.
Yeah, I've
Um,
got Doc, the Night Creeper, Jinx. Um, I love the Naga hide figure, but I didn't pre-order it. I will get it, but I didn't pre-order it.
I think it looks amazing, but it's not. I have no use for the character, so no.
Well, as much as this Target sucks for stocking things, it seems like the deluxe stuff. I will see it. The other day they had 3 months. That was the first time I've seen Mutt there, but they had 3 months. Just like I saw the Trouble Bubble there, I saw a Breaker with the Ram there,
I
and I
haven't
saw.
been toy
So
shop toy hunting for months.
uh, you know what? I don't go toy hunting. I check when I go to the store to buy stuff. I always hit the toy department first, but it's like the deluxe stuff. There's a chance I'll get it there. If it's a single card thing, no, I have to order it. Target here is not going to get it.
All right, hang on a sec.
Are we done anyways?
All right, sorry, I'm sick. What can I say?
Well, we were going to end the show and then we went off on a tangent. So,
So, and it did.
as we're wont to do, frankly.
Yes. So anyway, please do that fun social media stuff. Like, share, subscribe, comment below. And as always, thanks for watching.
Thanks, everybody.